The final stand, baby. Let's kick off map number 1.
Here's the thing, Tiff, a lot of predictions going down on the timeline, people all over the board, but yesterday I went for the on-paper teams and I lost big. So today my predictions are a little bit crazier. We'll see who can show out and show up. It is anyone's game going into the first map, and we all know my favorite saying, map 1, it's the litmus test. Will it be acidic? Will it be basic? Will it be slow? Will it be fast? Time will tell. It looks like it's going to be pretty quick here. Beam, Arch, and Casper already in an early gunfight.
Oh, that is not what you want, but immediately our teams are vying for those positions where they're trying to find the positions that have all of the cash. Now jumping in with JC Baby, Oakboy, Iceman Isaac, they're the team that just won that initial pistol engagement.
It's a fun team to talk about. I know and love Iceman, been friends with him for a long time, a fantastic streamer, but ultimately, like, one of the things that you talked about with Iceman Isaac is that he's one of the best IGLs. Can he execute with a brand new team? Likely. Will he execute with a brand new team? Gotta have a good day. You know what I mean? Like, it's always a fun combo because the other two players are slayers. They're fantastic squad players. They got 4th overall if you think about it in terms of seed, which was 19th during the stage 2 finals. They're already a great squad, but it's Iceman Isaac leading them this time around rather than their former teammate, which of course was Almighty TJ. So will it go better? Will it go worse?
Will it go better? Will it go worse? That is the same thing as we come on over to see what Huskerrs, Jesus, and Mutex are up to. This was one of those teams that had a little bit of roster mania going alongside it, but over here at Observatory, already finding a couple engagements, winning out on those. Not a bad start, and seemingly not bad ground loot. Anytime I find a Hurricane early on in the game and a Revive pistol, I'm feeling a little more confident.
Yeah, so this is a fun squad. I've actually watched them quite a bit. I've been hosting scrims the last several days to try to get some of these teams prepped for today. And this squad in particular has been doing fantastic in every single scrims. And it's one of those squads that a lot of people talk about saying they might get tilted, they might not. If they do well today, they're going to do fantastic. And it seems like they were looking really well. They did drop Observatory every single time.
16 kills. At least you're not in the bottom spot.
All right, Tef. As we look at Tankin squad, looks like they're in an early encounter against Skyroz, an invited squad to join the LCQs. Taking shots from distance, they would love a free pick here.
Yeah, Z-Tankin on the other side about Vio Bal replacing Known Convict. So a little bit of roster mania here. You say monster mania, but every time we turn to a team, at least maybe 50+% of our teams were affected by that. Just really trying to throw it all down on the line, find their best team that they can put forward. Now, granted, we said it already. 4 teams will be moving on from the first 5 maps today, and already Xenon finding success in the Elim feed, taking down Symphony.
Fun squad to talk about as well. I'm going to say that every single time we swap perspectives, it should be very clear. Rostermania in EU went crazy. Rostermania in NA went bonkers. You said it right. At least 50% of our squads changed it up. So one squad that didn't, though, Doug Israel, exact time on your screen in an early fight. Would love to win this and grab some early encounter. Gunfight wins. No, not even close. Time goes down, gets hawked down by Studley, Tricky Rick, who got dead last in stage 2 finals. Of course, they got to get top 4 to make it. 15 of the best teams out of it. Will it change it up? Exact, able to drop 1, but no, a team wipe there for Studley and co. A great start for their maybe turning of the tides of their luck.
That's exactly what you need to do, right? If you go into that first fight incredibly confident, we were talking to a lot of our players during the interviews yesterday in EU. A lot of people had mentioned, you know, in previous stages, we were incredibly kind of hesitant, maybe almost scared to fight in the customs because you're going up against such talented individuals and you never really know what's going to happen. But the moment they layered on that confidence and just went in full send, things kind of turned the tide. And that's what I want to see here for our teams. It's like, we know you are incredibly talented. Let it fly.
Yeah, well, this is where Almighty went to, by the way. 19th overall in stage 2. Playing with JC. Iceman replaced him, and Almighty dropped all the way down here to play with Devera. Devera squad got 44th during stage 2. So one of the biggest roster mania changes. Let's take a look at the map, though. Chemistry is king. Positioning is maybe queen, if you can think about it that way. Look at this, Tiff. I mean, Team 9 near dead center. Hydroelectric pretty empty for being near dead center of circle. I'm kind of surprised to see that. A lot of teams usually like to play around Hydro, but maybe not favoring it as an early drop spot, maybe as a spot that you rotate to.
Not mad about it. Team Reader finding themselves pretty further up north. That'll be pretty nice to see, but coming back on over to Observatory, streaks in the air, and now Huskerrs are going to have their work cut out for them as Bonk Future has game and Yeet are in the occasion. Now, granted, they were 0.2 points out of the 15th spot, so they want to throw down, but Mutex, Huskerrs, they're going to have something to say about it. They know this area like the back of their hand. It's one of those drops that people really like to just get aggressive, fly at teams early, and start racking up those kills. Everyone was talking about banger games early on in the pre-show. This is how you start, but when you're already getting third party, you have to worry about Casper, Grev, B-Mark. This is the team that I had been looking at in particular as kind of more of a dark horse, per se. That's kind of, I hate calling people dark horses, but they could have a effect on our team here.
It looks like we've lost Huskerrs, so it's just down to Jesus and Mutex. They've dropped here every single map that I saw them scrim, and it's a battle for Observatory often. Similarly, in EU, it was Ghoul Squad that was doing the same. You're going to see Mutex, Huskerrs, and Jesus. Unless something catastrophic happens, they'll be in Observatory every single map. So if you want to contest them, go find them. They're ready for you, trust me. See if they come out of that one alive. We're going to continue to swap perspectives and show several different teams here all around. Looks like a couple third parties happening. This is classic Warzone. If you haven't played 150 player lobbies, third party central, fourth party central. Chocolate and Co here on an interesting spot. Not a ton of cover to work with, and it's the TD squad. Juju, Locksteel, De Niro. A lot of people have their eyes set on that squad. That squad 25 there in the dark green, as one of the teams that should win it all. They had such an impressive stage 1 performance. Juju was top slayer from stage 1, and then going into stage 2 is just a catastrophic breakdown, and they said, no, we're okay. We can come back from this. We're going to run it back for LCQ.
I love how everyone's coming in so positive, and we're all putting our predictions on the timeline, and I'm just like, I cannot fathom even trying to choose how this is going to go, or even put my predictions out on the timeline. Plus, I mean, I would probably be totally incorrect. I know how wrong you were in EU yesterday, and I'd be curious to see how NA pans out for you thus far. But back over here, Iceman Isaac, JC Baby, squad number 4. 60.4 points after stage 2 finals, and we start looking at that average points per games that you need to get. I know they were talking about it earlier. It's at 16.36 was the cutoff yesterday, but I think NA could go a little bit higher. And to be on the safe side with people that dropped, you know, north of a 30 and 50 point game yesterday, you really want to start off strong.
I couldn't agree more. Again, when you start talking about averages, you know, if you score a 5-point game, that means you need to drop like a 25-point game to reach that average. Think about it in numbers. Think about it in averages. I think a lot of these players are going to think about it in eliminations. ST finding one, Signal 50. We saw how prolific it was yesterday. We've seen how prolific it can be in scrims leading up to today. An incredible weapon to utilize to get an entry and early knock. You can then push the equation with your team after you grab one. Player advantage fights are easy to win, 3v2s. You can grab it one from distance without taking any shots back.
Dude, this rotation is going to be atrocious. Out here all the way on the edge of circle is going to be Team Stellar Moves, now playing with ST as opposed to Russ. Previously we played with them, and then Russ kind of hit the timeline and was like, no longer going to be playing with Stellar and Willie. So be curious to see how this team dynamic works, but going to have to hit that rotation, because as you move to Observatory, at least you coming on board with Devera, Ripper, and Almighty TJ, utilizing those drones to kind of kickstart that rotation, because anytime you're rotating up this area of Observatory, typically you'll have all the teams that we recently saw on high ground, Huskerrs, Mutex. They're going to be looking to pick up these easy eliminations.
Yeah, this building right here, I think we had a circle end here in the NA stage 1, I believe it was. But regardless, actually a pretty free and clear rotate into Observatory, which is surprising. It looked like 2 or 3 teams were Observatory earlier, and then after the gunfights and the team fights to reign supremacy of Observatory, they've kind of moved on to continue on their merry way, maybe push closer into center circle. Now, this squad is a fun one, Team 37. I actually shouted them out on Twitter as part of my predictions. Talk about an underdog, talk about a dark horse. This squad has been grinding ever since their losses in the earlier stages. They've been putting in every ounce of effort they can possibly summon to make every single scrim and put in a ton of work. And I saw them win multiple games in the last couple scrims. They've got an opportunity. All of a sudden, Huskerrs, having won the gulag or being bought back, is in trouble yet again. Squad everyone's looking to say, hey, these are veterans, these are OGs in the Warzone community, they should be able to do it. In trouble because of Grev.
This is crazy, because these two were just kind of in an engagement over at Observatory, have already made their way into Hydro, and they're continuously taking this engagement with each other. And I love that you bring up Grev, Casper, B-Mark. I said earlier that they were kind of my dark horse, but we've been casting over Grev specifically for quite some time now. I've seen him just play on a multitude of rosters, always looking to lay it down on the line. And honestly, if there's one thing that I've written about this player in my notes, it was just max passion. And he tweeted, I saw on the timeline, he's like, you know, I'm gonna play LCQs today. I got max passion. I'll push anything. Max passion.
I love it. Well, authorized reader on your screen, one of the, I'll call it, few teams that didn't make a roster move, and for good reason. They ended up getting 17th overall in Stage 2 finals. Again, top 15 went to London, so everything equal, they're making it through. But as we saw yesterday, not always is everything going to be equal on paper. This is Warzone. Comes down to less than a point often. It's Bonk Squad that was 0.2 points away from making London during Stage 2. Now they got to do it again. Top seed, Stellar moves here. In a little bit of trouble, I think, by himself. Yeah, adios. It's actually Ripper grabbing that elimination.
Yeah, but peep that. That's the team that just rotated earlier. They're the ones that hit the drone early. It's Team Dovera, and they look to be kind of just down to a duo at this point. May have lost out one in that 3-team engagement. But let's see how Oakboy, Iceman Isaac on the inside are going to fare, as you've got Team 47, which is going to be Team Sailor Kevy, looking to make a siege. Sailor Kevy, though, going to leave your shoulder out. And Iceman Isaac going to be able to throw down a good chunk of damage.
Hilariously enough, this is actually... and I guess it makes sense given the spots that they like to rotate. This is exactly where I saw Iceman Isaac scrimming last night. Ooh. Exact same POIs, exact same gunfights. This time winning it, though. Yesterday losing it. So if that's a good omen, I wish it well upon them. A great win there against Sailor Kevy squad. The regiment team goes down early. Likely not out of it yet. Going to be heading to the gulag, but early elimination there from Ice is going to be helpful. That team oftentimes will find themselves in the final couple circles, just not a ton of kills. Ice even called that out last night and even threw some shade, by the way. Said, I don't want to play like OP marked. I want kills when we get to final circles. So hopefully they can find a few more. And the former teammate of that squad, Almighty TJ, trying to throw a couple kills of his own on the timeline here as they continue to push fights here on the edge of the observatory. Oh, just kidding. You're gonna head to the gulag.
Bro just got ripped, but Ripper needs to answer back. Trying to find a good line of sight here, but I don't think it's necessarily the best push. Anytime you kind of peek over the cliff here, but it looks like that Team 12 is just going to go ahead and just get out of dodge. We have to start thinking about our rotations with 35 seconds left before that circle starts to close, and there is a buy station here at Observatory. They may be seeking to just go ahead and grab that buyback immediately should anything go wrong, but squad number 1 will be in Observatory as well. Okay, so Team Bonk, Future has game, yeet.
Yeah, it's a big rotation there to Hydro. So the early wrap by New Texas squad likely was the right one. It just, they likely got caught in the rotation or caught on the way and lost a couple players. I'm not sure if they're still alive or not, but Hydro Electric looking very favorable here going into the next circle. Just a matter of does it pull to the south side or does it pull across the river? We'll see. Authorized has yet to find a kill, but it's in constant gunfights all the way through the last several minutes that we've popped over towards this squad. So I wonder if maybe the team has a couple. Looks like Lovey has one. Back to Observatory. This is the fight for Observatory, not as much of a favorable one. Of course, you want to wipe the rest of the squads here, and well, you're not going to get the better of Unrational and Co. That username, that's Scummin, Unrational, Scummin, 4 Jace. On paper, the best team here, and it's by a long shot, but with that pressure comes a lot of responsibility to execute. I know Unrational was talking about how he wasn't nervous for this tournament, just felt the pressure of we were expected to make, we need to make. And my advice to them was, if you play confidently, I don't think there's anyone can touch that squad, and so far, so good.
That's really tough because we saw Unrational in the early stages just absolutely have these incredibly clutch moments, being able to stand out for the team. And when you start talking about feeling that pressure, speaking of pressure, Furkle over here, squad 49, Team Drakota. You know, Furkle also, crazy enough, civil engineer, now Warzone comp grinder. Here trying to put the pressure onto Authorized. I love that you're shouting out Authorized as well, because you think about it back in stage 2, Authorized actually didn't have all of the eliminations on the team, was not even hitting double digits, but Reader and Lovey almost breaking 20 each. So maybe an entry fragger while they clean up.
Another squad that had a fantastic run in World Series Warzone last year, trying to replicate some of that success today to make it to London. Watch Waldo. Where's Waldo? Well, he's finding a team fight and looks like his first elimination as well. That's Lane's in clumsy going down, but all of a sudden TD, the perfect third party. This is what made Juju so successful yesterday, rather last week, but no. Juju goes down. It does look like both players will be dropped, but they lost Juju in the process. A decent third-party team fight. You hate to lose Juju there. Just maybe a hair or two aggro. Wait maybe a second and a half more. You still get the team wipe, but TD on top, doing well today. And last week, let me rephrase, they didn't do great. 2 weeks ago, or whenever that was, stage 1, they did fantastic. So would love to repeat that success.
Unrational Scummin. Orange Jace absolutely flying at Team Omega. That's gonna be Baba Huff
no
and
way.
Licks, but Unrational gonna get dropped himself. Now, the mortar kind of causing a little bit of chaos. Jason Scumming can't actually get to them just yet, but Unrational was able to get the self-res off, and you can see Squad 12 wanting to just kind of close the distance away from them and stay, be like, no, I don't want to like leave anything to chance. You have all these teams running the Signal 50, which we saw a lot of yesterday in the EU Last Chance qualifiers, and it was good for just kind of putting the pressure on teams, wearing down their resources. But if you find an off angle, that's where things can get a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, great cover there from Scummin and Foreign Jason to keep him alive. As we swap over to this is a fun squad here. Can we not just say, regardless of whether this team quells or not, it is great to see Booyah competing again. Didn't compete in stage 1 or stage 2, was focusing on content, had stuff going on in life. But for the LCQs, might as well. Let's go for it. Well, Ryder said, let's go for the snipe. One down. A fun squad they're fighting as well. Mr. Daft was their lead slayer in stage 1. Really the reason they made it to stage 2. And ended up getting dropped after not a great performance in stage 2 for Twitty, but Booyah back means Booyah is going to do Booyah things, which is win. A lot of people think that this squad could even qualify for London should things go correctly. I think it was Repulse that had to shout out his boy Booyah saying, yeah, I think Booyah can make it. I think this squad can do it. And, you know, not because of all of Booyah. It doesn't have to carry the entire load there, Tiff. IQ and Ryder are both fantastic players in their own right. Just kind of been waiting for the right team, and maybe this is it.
Yeah, it's kind of wild when you talk about them, right? I mean, IQ and Arrays, well, IQ and Ryder originally used to play with Arrays. You think back, they won some Twitch rivals back in the day and actually got 5th place in World Series of Warzone Stage 1, but they replaced Arrays with Booyah, and I think it might be really solid.
Well, that was a big wipe from Team Diverge. That's De Niro and Locksteel still playing as a duo without Juju, taking down Iceman Isaac squad. So albeit Iceman Isaac squad had a decent start going, not a lot of placement, actually 0 placement multipliers to lock down. That's just however many kills they got. That's how many points they have on the leaderboard. That's going to hurt looking back when there's only 5 games to play. 35 teams now, so the multiplier just now coming into play for 1.2. Again, it's that top 10 that Dandro shouted out where you're 1.6 and then top 5 for 1.8 multipliers that really make a massive difference to your score lines. Sad to see Iceman Isaac go out early, but we'll see if they can come back in the next 4 maps.
Brolic picking up a nice 2-piece in the kill feed. That's actually massive for them. Just getting a full wipe on Exact squad. But Devera, Ripper, Almighty TJ, they're making the rotation here, just trying to get onto that circle. But you can see there's a multitude of squads there. 1, 2, 3, at least 6 that are going to be sitting in buildings just north of them. But they shouldn't have any issue really occupying some space there. You see Mireille in the distance, just missed out on the regional placement, now looking for his last chance to London here today.
Looks like Sitrep's just trying to creep around in Texas squad, maybe actually hit the redeploy drone and actually got out somehow. Maybe a dead silence until he hit to the drone, I don't know. Teammates rotated in without him and he said, whoa, wait up, I gotta get in there. Shout out to Sitrep, by the way. I shouted them out as my wildcard team today. I think they could make London without going to the wildcard, just like Shucks did yesterday, who I shouted out as my wildcard team. They balled out in the scrims last night. They went big, got 2nd place overall behind a team that already made London. But we'll come back to them in a moment because Dracota's team is on fire right now against Taj and Amaxides. Grab the full team wipe and don't lose one. Those are the team fights you love to see. When you don't even lose one player on your squad, you don't even go down. You don't have to use resources. Massive, massive win.
It's just so efficient. Has the precision airstrike it in pocket, looking to kind of get further up on the placement. But, you know, Dracota got that invite last night, tweets out, I'm looking for 2 of the best. And it's always like you're trying to regain. Everyone starts dropping names, but I think this is a good team for them. And, you know, I think Chronicle's also going to be breaking out the sniper check-in with Mireille. I was curious to see how Regu and Don Lucky would be doing, but Don Lucky, Regu, Signal 50 in hand. I'm vibing.
Yeah, they are vibing indeed. If you don't know Mireille, fantastic competitor, plays in a bunch of, you know, what I'd call North American tournaments. This is a Mexico-based team. They played in the Mexico expansion region and were 1 place away from qualifying through that expansion region. They were given a last chance qualifier spot today. And it looks like, although they were harried by Sitrep got picked up by Mireille from distance with the Signal 50. That's 3 now for Mireille. Nice little game they've got going for them, but this is a very tough rotation.
Love that revive pistol coming in. It makes things so much more easy, so you can kind of hit that res, keep rotating on. Maybe throw a smoke for your team as we push through the jungle type area. but this is going to be an incredibly hard rotation once you get to this. You've got Team Stellar moves just on the left-hand side, as well as Team Classic Pain still up and in it. That's going to be Inno, Classic Pain, and Zepti.
Oof. Baba Huff came in, fantastic player, but not fantastic enough for this map. That's 27th overall, and look who it is! Nico, Infinite, and Desmond have yet to really find their true third that is gelled to give them some massive success. They're one of those teams we talked about with the curse of the top seed. They won the stage 1 open quals for NA, and then could not make it to London, haven't yet. Huskerrs, Jesus, Mutex, although they've been fighting constantly, they have somehow stabilized with all 3 alive and in zone in the top 25 in one of the last pieces of cover. This is a massive position for them to be in. This could start off their tournament on such a good foot that they might be tilt-proof going forward, which is the big concern.
The question is, where is that zone going to pull from them, right? We heard our teams yesterday. It's obviously you're going to take in placement, right? And your positioning. So now looking at where Intex, Brawlic, and Believe are going to be, they have to rotate into the open area. They're likely only going to be able to play these rocks so long as they're able to clear their back and deny any random streaks coming their way. Bomb Squad, great perk for that, by the way, because we saw some crazy things with helicopter explosions yesterday. But even look at Juju and Locksteel. I don't hate that positioning, sharing that neighboring building that Huskerrs and Mutex are in just across, but it's all about where that next circle pulls, and peep that Juju Locksteel. That is impressive.
A massive win here from Slacked off screen as well, but I was taking a look at these numbers. I think Believe's on 8 kills and so is Brawlic. 16 kills, top 19. I mean, you're well past that metric. This is a baller game for this squad. They've got an opportunity to go big here early and really prove a lot of people right. Many were predicting Intex will make it. We talked about it at the top of the show a couple times. This squad is doing fantastic. They got to execute, but TD, fantastic squad. You look at Locksteel, you look at Juju. Watch out for that team in the final circle. You can see all of these squads still alive, still 15 up. This multiplier is going to start ticking up dramatically. Ryda desperately trying to stay up, last standing.
Look, sometimes it's all about the ability to stay alive, but 2 are going to peek, and Ryda just climbs up. Dolphin dives for the life, able to get behind, hits the mobile guy, but I'm not sure if he was able to. He did. He got Booyah back last minute. So if he could just float and try to avoid a little bit of the chaos moving in, you can see Intex, Brawlic, Believe, they're rotating and vying for a position in Juju's building, or maybe neighboring on the outskirts of it. But Brawlic, Believe, they're running into a little bit of chaos. This needs to be a big game for them. And you said a lot of people were hyping them up, Goj. That's not what I saw. I saw them getting slept on. And Intex was like, all right, we got something to prove. We'll show you.
Well, show it or live up to it. They're in trouble. And look who else is here. Jesus is here, and Jesus is taking over. 8 kills now. Finding Believe. Intex is finding Mutex. There's some trades back and forth, and there's still Locksteel and Juju in the equation. Intex gonna try to creep around, finds one out in the open. Oh no, the smoke covers the advances. Intex in trouble, able to get back in cover, and Jesus is out of here saying, nope, I'm going to circle. I gotta get top 5. We have a massive amount of kills. A fantastic play. Let those 2 teams fight to their own devices and maybe pick them up on the rotation. Intex is gone. They're out of here. Top 10, not top 5. Juju Locksteel inside of the zone. Jesus trying to play cover. Will he grab the 1v2? Locksteel's down. Jesus is going big here, Tiff.
This is what you need, but peep that early rotation. It was originally had by squad number 8. That's Team Unrational, both falling. Unrational went down earlier to a PA, so they're out of the lobby. We're down to the final 2. Squad number 49, Team Drakota, coming in with 2 of the best from the timeline, looking to make a play here for Jesus.
They have 11 kills just between 2, not even including Chronicle. A great game for Drakota, a team no one was expecting to do fantastic. I think it was eBase is the only one that shouted him out on Twitter that I saw, but it is a 2v1, no, 3v1 against Jesus. Jesus goes down. Map 1 victors, Drakota, Furkle, everyone's sleeping on him. They struggled through the qualifiers and the stages, but they're here and they're showing out big with nothing to lose. Congratulations to Drakota squad for not only a win, but seemingly a big one. Let's take a look at that victory moment.
Nice. Huge. I'm watching behind us.
Come on, come on. One is in front of the building, in front of us.
I have no map. He's on the roof.
Down.
Floating right above.
Huge.
Right above floating. Cracked. Dead. Huge.
Oh, let's play together. Come on, come on, come on.
One's on me. One's on me. Look behind.
Come to me, come
On the
to
next
me.
roof. This roof. 2 solos. 2 solos. Dead. One more.
Let's fucking go.
One more. On the roof. Black guy. Yep, I see that. I have no more plates, okay?
I'm getting a regular gun, bro.
He's just snaking it. Inside. Just don't get knocked. I have no plates, okay?
Yeah, play. Okay, wait, just do not go down. Do not go down.
He's on
No,
top.
no, no.
He's outside. It's outside. Challenge under you guys. Crack challenge. Let's go! Come on! Let's go!
That's what's up!
Come on, baby!
Oh my god!
That fucking shit.
Oh my god!
17 eliminations goes to kick off map number 1. You heard it. That's what's up. This team came together last night with that invite to team captain Jakota, and just look at the way they're showing out. I didn't put my predictions on the timeline, Goj, because I was like, anything can happen, and all of our teams have something to prove here.
I love Jakota. Known him a long time. He and Ferkel have a ton of chemistry.